projects for us, our next panellist will demonstrate how we individually can impact on sustainability by our purchasing choices, especially when we come together to create great impact. John Englander knows a lot about this, and he's the founder of Planet Earth Cleaning Company. He has a strong focus on responsible consumption. I'll hand over to John. Thanks, John.
Thank you. I thought this morning I would tell you a story, my story about choices. And when you're listening, I want you to really think about what you could do to make responsible choices, because every decision we make has an impact. You'd have to agree. So in terms of that question and what decisions you make is another one which I had no idea would happen to me, and that is become the impact that other people choose. Imagine your business is just that. So going back to November 1993, I went into partnership in a cleaning business, and one of the cleaners didn't show up. So I rolled up my sleeves. I ended up in a toilet cubicle, not a nice place to be, very confined, door closes on me, and I begin to open the chemical bottle. The fumes were intoxicating. I could hardly breathe, and my skin was starting to split and burn from the stinging. And I thought, there's got to be a better way. So I went to my partner and I said, we can't subject our cleaners to these toxic products. How about we replace to non-toxic? He didn't care. So I moved on. And I was in search then of cleaning products that were non-toxic. And I thought, hang on a minute. If it's good for the cleaners, it must be good for the planet. So in fact, that's how Planet Earth Cleaning Company was born, from an idea of doing the right thing for the people, which in turn does the right thing for the planet. But back then, green was just a colour. And no one really cared a lot except the odd people, maybe me. But, you start to realise about the things that matter most. And in fact, that becomes your purpose in life. How wonderful to have a business that kind of crosses between the two. And so the choice of that has led us on to keep investigating what's better. Today, for a lot of our clients, we even have a system that converts water into a sanitizer. Imagine, chemical-free. And that's got to be good. And then back at the office, the things that we think about. It's not just the cleaning chemicals, but how do we run our business? Because that's important too. So we run our office on renewable energy. When we go to the local cafe, we take a plate so the sandwich can actually be put on the plate. Who needs packaging? Or when we needed coffee, you go down to the coffee shop and you bring your cup. Of course, COVID-19 stops that, so you get a takeaway cup, but you don't need the plastic top. Usually your coffee's hot enough anyway. And then when we bought a machine, there was no way we were going to have coffee pods. I mean, fancy making things that have to be thrown out, manufactured in the first place. Interestingly, companies have responded and made compostable pods. So what? Why make them in the first place? But the waste issue is another part of responsible consumption, right? Because how something starts to how something ends, and all the things in between. So we found back in 2007, our clients wanted to recycle, they just weren't doing it properly. So we created a coloured bin system and we established a brand called EcoBin. We rolled it out to our clients free of charge, and we still do that, and we give induction morning tea to our clients to give the whole package, and they love that. But something got better than that. Suddenly it got adopted all over Australia to become one of Australia's favourite, bin separation, waste separation systems, because the colours were so good. And then we took it one step further. Prior to that is how those bins are going to be made in the first place. You see, that's responsible consumption. What's the energy it takes to make a bin? How much water? How much waste? And we were able to create a bin, a plastic bin, that used 50% less energy in the manufacturing than anything else of the same size. So, hey, clients became sustainable before they even began recycling. And to think that another bin might take 2 years just to simply offset your waste. Absurd, right? But we're all trying to do the right thing. And that's what we do. We help our clients to get it right. make it easy. So it's not just about, all these, just an idea of what shall I do? Shall I ride to work or shall I take public transport? Should it be an electric bike? They're your choices. Some are better than others, but you need to think about it. That's what responsibility is all about. It's not right and wrong. Better, not perfect. Otherwise, we'd all live in mud brick homes and have no electricity, and we wouldn't live in it. Alex talks about a world where we can actually have quality of life and still be sustainable. And it's possible just by choices. I was listening to one of the councils recently that talked about a bike path they wanted to create. But when they did the analysis, they worked out it would take 80 years to offset the materials they were going to use for the bike path. Now, is a bike path a good idea? Of course it is. But maybe the materials might need to be a bit different. So that's a consideration in the aspects of that. It's no different to clients choosing us as Planet Earth Cleaning Company. Because when they choose us, we're the impact they want. And when they attach themselves to us, they suddenly get a bit greener. And when their staff understand the values of their organisation, it goes one step further. It excites the workforce. And you retain staff and you attract staff. Get this, clients even find you. So, is green good for business? Absolutely. I just never thought about it that way. You see, when it starts with passion and purpose, it's a great driver. Everything else comes into play. So what excites me here today now, though, apart from telling you all about this, is that I have a special guest from Hopkins Clark, Robert Godliff. He's a leader of a very fine, respectable architect firm, a firm that is a big business with a small footprint. I'm going to introduce you to Robert right now. He'll tell you a little bit, and then I'll come back to you and just explain what will happen in our breakout. Thank you. Just one last thing. Just know this. When you look after the planet, you're looking after yourself, right? Thanks, Robert.
Thank you, John. It's a pleasure to join everyone today. And I'm looking out the window at a pretty grey sky, but with your infectious enthusiasm, I think it's got a bit of a green tinge to it now. As John mentioned, Hopkins Clark are architects, urban designers and interior designers. And we do everything from schools to hospitals to childcare to aged care. And importantly, what were once our shopping centres, our supermarket in the sea of cars, and now town centres. So we're focusing on urban walkable urbanism and connected communities. And a while ago, coming out of that sort of background of work, we adopted our why as Impact Tomorrow. And we found that to impact tomorrow sustainably, you need a roadmap. And so we work to a roadmap, and these are the things I'd like to talk to the panel about in the breakout session. What our roadmap to sustainable change looks like, just to provide some on-the-ground concrete examples of what we're doing and how we might be able to help others with some guidance. So the first thing that we're doing is architects and consultants, we can make choices about our own business, but we can amplify our impact greatly by making choices that affect the work that we do, the projects that we help to create with our clients. So what we can do is make it easier for people to make decisions by choosing the best suppliers and how we support those manufacturers, how we help people to make sustainable choices. So how do we analyse what is a good product in this world of greenwashing and fake news? What is sustainable products in terms of manufacturing, cradle to grave recycling and so forth? It's important then to get your own house in order so you've got some credibility and you speak with some truth and authenticity. So we're a certified B Corporation, which is a certifying body founded about 12, 15 years ago that certifies business who choose to make business as a force for good by considering your people, society, and the environment, as well as the bottom line in decision making. We are the largest architectural B Corp in the world. We are Climate Active certified carbon neutral and have been since 2018. And that requires a whole lot of choices about our own workplace and our own supply chains. And those two first points on the roadmap enable us to have more meaningful conversations in selling ESD to our clients. And that's where we can really impact the construction industry, which is, after all, responsible for 40% of the carbon output in the world. So that's where we're going to make the biggest impact. And they're the sort of topics that I'd like to be asked about, how we can demonstrate through our own choices on responsible consumerism, how we can help others that might wish to join us. So thank you, John.
Yeah, thanks, Robert. I think one of the things you brought up was greenwash. A lot of people may not know what that actually is. It's got nothing to do with cleaning. So if you want, just Google it. I don't want to say too much for right now. The other thing is that Robert's mentioned about, in terms of, responsible choices or as far as that's concerned, how are you going to choose your suppliers moving forward? And I guess bringing back to what I asked before, how are you going to become the impact that other companies choose? So we'll discuss that. I'm delighted to be part of this. Thank you very much. Over to Frank.
Thanks, John, and thanks, Robert, for your contribution as well.